in the crib, mom. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
I with my hand, I can I with my hand, I can I with my hand, I can. Ow. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, as you can see, I have a special guest, Miss Khloe Kardashian herself. So I asked you guys on Twitter if you guys wanted me to do makeup applications on my YouTube, and 99.9% of you guys said yes. So I wanted to bring Sierra because she does get that she looks like Khloe Kardashian all the time. So I wanted to recreate the most recent look that Mario did on Khloe Kardashian for her Good American campaign. Sierra actually was obsessed with the look, and she slid in my DM and sent it to me, and we just got together, and I'm here recreating it for you guys so you guys can see what steps I do when I do another person's makeup or a client. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy this video. So if you want to see how I give Miss Khloe Kardashian, I mean Sierra, this Khloe Kardashian look, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you get notified every single time I upload. And without further ado, let's get started with this video. I'm gonna spray her with some Fix Plus. And for primer, I'm going to be using the Mercier foundation primer that is oil-free. So I'm just going to use a flat brush and apply that primer all over the face because it is a oil-free primer. It's going to help her skin stay matte throughout the whole day, and she's not going to have to touch up as often. I'm just focusing it in the areas that I know she gets oily the most, and then whatever extra I have, I just brush that throughout the whole face. So I've mixed the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation in the shade 3.5 and 5.0 to create her color. And I'm using the Tarte Cosmetics Velvet Sponge. I've used this a few times, and I really like the application with this sponge because it's pretty big and it gets the foundation applied a lot faster. You always want to make sure that you bring it all the way down to the neck, and then also you can put it right behind the ear as well, so there's no demarcation of where the foundation starts or it ends. Because she has some pigmentation right under her eyes, I need to make sure that I cover that before I highlight. So I'm going to be using the Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NW25, and I'm applying it with a brush because I find that this application is a lot better opposed to just going in with a sponge. You get that coverage and the look of a smoother under eye by doing this. And then I just go in with a sponge. And I work with one eye first, and then I move on to the other one. And we're just gonna do the same step on the other side. And to highlight, I'm gonna be using the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer in the shade Light. And I'm just gonna apply that right under her eyes to give her a really highlighted under eye, because Khloe always has a really highlighted look in all her photos. And I'm just using patting motions to apply the concealer, and then just applying the rest of it at the high points of her face. This is a creaseless concealer, so you don't have to set it. It's pretty much optional, but I always like to set a concealer just because you better be safe than sorry. And to set her under eye, I'm gonna be using the Camio powder. This is a great powder to have in your kit because it's pretty universal. They do have other shades. They have the banana shade for deeper skin tones, but for lighter skin tones I like to use Camio. We're just gonna leave that there for a second while we set the rest of her face. And for that, I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade Light. I always like to use a loose powder to set my foundation because I feel like it just gives it a more flawless finish. I first start patting it in, and then once I've done that, I buff it in just to make sure that everything looks seamlessly. And right after, I just like to dust off any excess powder. And for bronzer, I'm going to be using the Benefit Hoola bronzer. And what I like to do is I like to do a patting motion first so it doesn't interrupt any of the product. We also want to make sure that her nose is really snatched because Khloe Kardashian always has a really defined nose. So I'm just gonna bring that bronzer right at the top of the bridge of her nose. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up that same brush that I used to powder her face, and I'm just gonna buff out everything together so there is no demarcation where anything starts or ends. So for blush, I'm gonna be using Tarte's Lavish. It's like a coral peachy blush. And I'm just gonna pat it on the apple of her cheeks in a bit. And for her cheekbone highlight, I'm going to be using the Spirited color, and I'm just going to apply that right on the cheekbones, just very lightly. Moving on to her eyebrows, I'm going to be using the Benefit Precielsy My Brow Pencil, and I'm going to start off by just brushing out her brows to make sure that we remove all the foundation and powder that is on her brow. What I like to do is I like to lift her brow just so I can see and make sure that I don't overdraw. And then I start by just underlining right under her brow just to give me a guide. And then I bring down her brow. So I continue the process at the top. And this is just gonna help you not overdraw your brows so much because you see where your hair ends. And then we're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. And as you can see, her brow hair is obviously going upwards, so that's the motion that you wanna do. You wanna just continue that so it looks a lot more natural. And to clean up on her eye, I'm also going to be using the Pro Longwear Concealer in NW25. And now I am just blending it out with the Morphe Y19 brush. For her base, I'm also going to be using that exact same concealer. I love using Pro Longwear Concealer as a base because it is long wearing and it doesn't crease once you've applied it and set it with a translucent powder. Now I'm just going to set it with Camio, which is the same powder that I use right under her eyes. For her eyes, I'm going to be using the Pinky Rose, the Transition palette. As her first transition shade, I'm going to be using this color called Transition, and I'm going to be applying it with a tapered blending brush by Sigma in the number E40. And I'm just going to apply that right in the crease, going back and forth, windshield wiper motion and circular motion at the same time. And remember that the transition color, you want to apply a generous amount because once you apply the second transition shade, sometimes the first transition shade gets lost in transition. a lot of transitions. As my second transition shade, I'm going to be using Yes Girl, and I'm going to apply that with a MAC 217 brush. I want to have a little bit more control, so this brush is a little bit denser and fuller. It's not as fluffy, so it allows you to apply the color a lot better and wherever you want to concentrate the color. I'm just going back and forth, windshield wiper motion, and then I'm also using pressing motion as well because I want to apply the color and then blend it out. Now what I'm doing is I am just picking up that same brush that I used to apply the first transition shade, and I'm not adding anything to it. I'm just going back and forth just to blend those two colors together. For eyelids, I'm going to be using a loose powder eyeshadow by Sigma in the shade Ambrosia. And I'm using the Dose of Color shader brush, and I'm applying it by using patting motions just because I want to make sure that the eyeshadow sticks to the lid. And picking up a pencil brush and the color Plum, I'm just going to run it right on her lash line just to deepen it up a little bit. Because I want to elongate her eyes, I'm just going to keep it halfway and then just bring it out the outer corner. And for lashes, I'm just going to double stack a pair of 217 and 43 lashes, and these I got actually in downtown LA. They're not any name brand lashes. For her eyes, I'm going to be using this Lord It Up pencil by MAC. It's a brown shimmery eyeliner. Now I'm going to be using that same color, Yes Girl, and I'm just gonna bring that right under her lash line. I'm just using a Makeup Geek pencil brush. So for her lips, I'm gonna be using MAC's Oak lip liner. And Khloe always has like an overdrawn look, so that's the look that we're gonna give Sierra. Sierra has a fuller bottom lip, so we're just gonna keep her lips luscious. And for her lipstick, I'm going to be using the Toofaced Melted Matte Liquified Long Wearing Lipstick in the color Holy Chic. And this is going to be a super light color, but once I apply the gloss, it's going to come all together. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to go back in with the lip liner and then just blend everything out. For gloss, I'm also going to be using a Too Faced product, and it's going to be the Creamy Peach Oil Lip Gloss in the shade Peach Fuzz. I feel like Khloe's known for either doing a super bright matte bold lip or a super glossy nude lip. Alright everyone, this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I really enjoyed showing you guys some of my techniques that I have used for so many years because I know it's different when I do it on myself than me doing it on a client or on someone else. So I really enjoyed doing this. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to make more videos like this because I really enjoyed it, honestly. Like, it was so much easier for me to explain what I was doing on someone else and doing it on myself, and I was telling that to Sierra. So let me know your thoughts, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.